Present Council Net. Absent. Council Allen. Present. Council Mejia Madre.
Present.
Present.
Hey, just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council chamber was empty, I apologize on behalf of the licensing committee. Thank you for
Present.
being
Council
here
Net.
Tonight.
Absent. Council Allen. Present. Council Mejia Madre.
Present.
Present.
Hey, just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council chamber was empty, I apologize on behalf of the licensing committee.
Juan Guzman.
Thank you
Present.
for
Council
being
Net.
here tonight.
Absent. Council Allen. Present. Council Mejia Madre.
Present.
Present.
None, all in favor? Just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council chamber was empty, I apologize on behalf of the licensing committee. That license
Guzman.
is granted.
Present. Council Net. Absent. Council Allen. Present. Council Mejia Madre.
Present.
Present.
None, all in favor? Just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council chamber was empty, I apologize on behalf of the licensing committee. That license
Guzman.
is granted.
Present. Council Net. Absent. Council Allen. Present. Council Mejia Madre.
Present.
Present.
None, all in favor? Just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council chamber was empty, I apologize on behalf of the licensing committee. That license
Guzman.
is granted.
Present. Council Net. Absent. Council Allen. Present. Council Mejia Madre.
Present.
Present.
None, all in favor? Just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council chamber was empty, I apologize on behalf of the licensing committee. That license
Guzman.
is granted.
Present. Council Net. Absent. Council Allen. Present. Council Mejia Madre.
Present.
Present.
None, all in favor? Just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council chamber was empty, I apologize on behalf of the licensing committee. That license
Guzman.
is granted.
Present. Council Net. Absent. Council Allen. Present. Council Mejia Madre.
Present.
None, all in favor? Just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council chamber was empty, I apologize on behalf of the licensing committee. That
Guzman.
license is granted.
Present. Council Net. Absent. Council Allen. Present. Council Mejia Madre.
Present.
None, all in favor? Just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council chamber was empty, I apologize on behalf of the licensing committee. That
Guzman.
license is granted.
Present. Council Net. Council Allen. Present. Council Mejia Madre.
Present.
None, all in favor? Just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council chamber was empty, I apologize on behalf of the licensing committee. That
Guzman.
license is granted.
Present. Council Net. Council Allen. Present. Council Mejia Madre.
Present.
None, all in favor? Just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council chamber was empty, I apologize on behalf of the licensing committee. That
Guzman.
license is granted.
Present. Council Net. Council Allen. Present. Council Mejia Madre.
Present.
None, all in favor? Just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council chamber was empty, I apologize on behalf of the licensing committee. That
Guzman.
license is granted.
Present. Council Net. Council Allen. Present. Council Mejia Madre.
None, all in favor? Just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council chamber was empty, I apologize on behalf of the licensing committee. That
Guzman.
license is granted.
Present. Council Net. Council Mejia Madre.
None, all in favor? Just first, if anybody showed up for licensing on November 12th and the council
Guzman.
is granted.
Present. Council Net. Council Mejia Madre.
In Atlantic Toyota will
Guzman. Present. Council Net. Council Mejia Madre.
I know they have an outstanding operation.
appreciation for
in
all the work that
Atlantic
they've done in other
Toyota will
businesses. And like I said, we welcome them to come back to Lynn, and I think it's going to be a great partnership with the community. So welcome to Lynn, guys.
Thank you.
Good, yep. I think I purchased a vehicle from there not too long ago, so I'm sure the reputation will continue on. What is the wish of the committee on the license?
Motion to approve.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Second, any discussion or questions? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That license is granted. Good luck. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Tomorrow between 10 and...
Between 10 and 4, or again on Monday after 8:30, regular business hours. Thank you, guys.
Okay, and we have renewals.
Renewals, we'll take them all as a whole if we can. What's the wish of the committee?
Take them as a whole.
Take them as a whole. What's the, anyone want to make a motion on approval?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Any second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Those renewals are all granted. We have one new business, correct, Madam Clerk?
Yes, we have a canning for Lynn Classical Cheering, December 7th and 8th, 2024.
What is the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, any discussion? None, all in favor? Aye, opposed? The dates, those dates are granted for Lynn Classical Cheer. Thank you. Any other business, Madam Clerk?
None.
None. What's the wish of the committee?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a
Second.
motion to adjourn, seconded. All in favor to adjourn? Aye, opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, Licensing Committee. Yes.
Oh, I got,
You actually put
you want these?
photo, not my dad, but that's okay.
No, he didn't give it to me. So.
There we go.
Oh, he's cracking the whip.
Where?
Cracking the whip. She said, "She gotta start on time."
I might like it. Are we?
No, it's still got a minute. One
Yeah.
minute to go.
We only have, oh yeah, he's just here. Have a long one.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, the council.
Good evening, everyone. Today, November 26, 2024, I would like to call the Utilities Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councillor Alonso? Present. Councillor McLean? Present. Councillor Hogan?
Present.
Present. Councillor Meji-Madre?
Present.
Present. Councillor Meany?
Present.
Okay, perfect. We have 9 items on the agenda. Madam Clerk, please read the first one.
Okay, we have Pleasant Street, 38 South Common Street, to install a conduit from existing manhole number 1 to private property to provide a permanent underground service at 38 South Common Street.
All right, I know we have 9 items on the agenda, but since these are public hearing, we'll do this very, very quick, okay? Anybody here wish to speak in favor? Please list your name, address for the record, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rafael Kerguelen from National Grid. I live here in 63 Graves Avenue,
Yeah.
Lynn.
Rafael, don't go far away, just stay there, because these are all yours.
Okay.
Anybody here wish to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. Anybody wish to speak in opposition? Opposition? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. What is the wish of the committee? Questions?
Motion approved.
Would you approve?
Second.
Second? Perfect. I spoke with Councilor Chakoudas. This is good to go, too. What's the next item on the agenda, Madam Clerk?
We have South Common / Bloom Street, install conduit from existing manhole number 6 to existing manhole number 5 to provide permanent underground service at 38 South Common Street.
Rafael?
Yes, this is for the same job for the MVM Armory here in Lynn. So, yeah, we need to connect 2 manholes to upgrade the feeder.
Thank you. Anybody here wish to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. Anybody wish to speak in opposition? 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 Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. What is the wish of the committee? I also spoke with Councilor Chakoudas, and she reviewed, and everything's good to go from her part. Any questions from the committee members? What's the wish?
Motion to approve.
Approved by Councilor Meji-Madre. Any second?
Second.
Second by Councilor McLean. The third item of the agenda, Madam Clerk.
59 Monroe Street, to install conduit from existing vault to a new handhold, and customer to install their own conduit after the new handhold.
This is an existing building. They need a service upgrade, but we don't have other way to provide the service from an existing manhole, but in this case, National Grid will be doing everything, all the job, and the reparation of the sidewalk too.
Thank you, Rafael. Anybody here wish to speak in favor? In favor? Anybody wish to speak in favor? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. Anybody wish to speak in opposition? Opposition? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. What's the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilor McLean. Any second? Second by Councilor Natasha. The fourth one, Madam Clerk.
14 Courier Road to install conduit from existing manhole to the property to upgrade an electrical service.
Rafael?
Yeah, this is a customer job. In this case, it's going to be from the manhole directly to a handhole in the customer service, but the job is going to be done by the customer.
Thank you. What's the wish of the committee? Anybody here wish to speak in favor? In favor? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. Anybody here wish to speak in opposition? Opposition? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. What's the wish of the committee? Councilor Natasha, this is your ward.
Yes, motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Any second? Saying aye? What's the fifth one, Madam Clerk?
228 Chestnut Street to install conduit from existing pole 11-0 to private property to provide a permanent underground service.
Rafael?
We're going to install a pad mount transformer inside of the property, and we're going to install a riser in an existing pole,
Thank you.
a sidewalk.
Anybody here wish to speak in favor? In favor? It's all formalities. In favor? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. Anybody here wish to speak in opposition? Opposition? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. Councilor Matul, what can you say about this area?
I am not on this committee, but I would like to ask my fellow councilors to make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Anybody wish to, what's the committee's response?
Motion to approve.
Councilor Hogan, any second?
Second.
Second, Councilor Meany. What's the sixth one, Madam Clerk?
226 Broad Street to install conduit from manhole 10 to the property to install a pumping station.
You're almost there, Rafael.
Yeah, it's for the pump station.
That number six,
Yes, number 6. So we're going to go from the manhole directly to the property. We're going to install a pad mount transformer, and it's for the water pump station here.
you're good to go. Councilor Chakoudas also reviewed this, and she said yes on this. What's the wish of the committee? Hold on a second. Do a public hearing. Anybody wish to speak in favor? In favor? See none. In opposition? Opposition? What's the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
Councilor McLean approved, second by Councilor Hogan. The seventh one, Madam Clerk.
103 Cottage Street to install 2 joint-owned poles to accommodate and provide permanent underground service.
Rafael,
Yes.
we're having I like this, a synchronization.
Yeah, in this, they're going to need a new electric service, and we're going to install 2 poles to get it.
Right. What's, anybody here wish to speak in favor? In favor? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Anybody wish to speak in opposition? Opposition? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. What's the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
Councilor Walsh as well, so good to go.
Yep, he's good to go. Motion to approve.
Councilor
Second.
Hogan, yes. Second by Councilor Meji Madri. What's the eighth one, Madam Clerk?
We have 103 Cottage Street, install conduit from pole number 37-0 to private property to provide permanent underground service.
Yeah, it's for the same service. After the pole, we're going to install a riser and a secondary siphon service to the property.
It's the same street, okay.
Yes,
Yep.
it's from that pole.
Public hearing, wish to speak in favor? In favor? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. Anybody opposition? Opposition? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. What's the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
Councilor Hogan, yes. Second by
Second.
Councilor McLean. Say aye.
Aye.
Number 9, finally.
Number 49 Grandview Ave, petition of contractor Frank Lanzillo to continue underground conduit installed by National Grid as shown on the plan for service to 49 Grandview Ave.
Mr. Chairman, this is Frank Lanzillo, who built a single-family home at Grandview. The electric company did put the power up to the sidewalk, but puts the burden on the contractor to go from the sidewalk to the home. Once that's done, the electricity's on, they get an occupancy permit, and the house is ready to be occupied. And that's what we're seeking permission tonight.
Thank you. Anybody wish to speak in favor? Sir, you would like to say in favor?
I'm the owner, so I would definitely be in favor.
In favor? Anybody would like to speak in favor? Rafael? Anybody? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. Anybody wish to speak in opposition? Opposition? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. I spoke with Councillor Meany about this project. Councillor Meany, do you want to say something about this?
Yeah, it's more just of a little bit clean up some red tape, but the house is a going project, so it's all set.
All set. Good. What's the wish of the committee? Councillor Meany?
Motion to approve.
Yes.
Second.
Councillor, who would like to second Councillor Meany's?
I'll second
Second by
his.
Councillor McLean, saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. All right, do we have any new and old business, Madam Clerk?
No.
No. Perfect. What is the wish of the committee?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Yes, indeed. Second.
No, I did.
No. Cheryl. What's her name?
No, but she just landed. Two brothers.
1 minute.
Brothers are flying tonight, and we'll all meet in Hong Kong after, and we'll all take the same flight.
Did you see my text? My text?
Yeah.
I just sent you a text. You already voted.
No, I know they're going
Well, we're everywhere. It was in her drawer for 2 months already. It's so stale. She doesn't care.
Coco did.
It's a wild way.
I know, it looks like nice.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't care.
I know, he's great.
Yeah, Philippines is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or, I was going to bring the bag. The majority of our bags
It looks great. I like it.
went all over.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Go to any hospital in the Philippines. Go to a lot of them everywhere.
Right, do you remember when the guy took over
You
the
good?
department store, all the things people visit?
Jay, 80% of this are old.
Ordinance Committee for Tuesday,
I just,
November 24th, 26th, Madam.
26.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Field?
Present?
Present. Counselor Hogan?
Present.
Present. Counselor LaPierre? Present. Present. Counselor Meany?
Present.
Present. Counselor Matul?
Present.
Present.
First order of business.
Okay, we have a discussion and/or to set down for public hearing a proposed ordinance amending the zone ordinance of the City of Lynn regarding the MBTA zone amendment.
Attorney Lamanna, do you want to speak on that?
Yes, so as you may know, there was an MBTA zoning act that requires cities and towns to become in compliance near transportation hubs. We have one minor change to our zone ordinance. Otherwise, we're in full compliance anyway as a result of the central business district, so we'll be deleting one footnote. So this is setting down a public hearing for the December 17th meeting.
Okay. And will that public hearing be full council or through the Ordinance Committee?
It would be up to the council. I think the planning department intends to do a presentation as well, so.
All right, so do we take that vote to put it towards the full committee then?
Yes, that would be appropriate tonight.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion to have that public
make a
hearing for
motion.
full committee?
second.
Motion.
Motion by Councilor Matul, seconded by
Second.
Councilor LaPierre. Any further discussion or questions for Attorney Lamanna? None. Roll call, please.
Counselor Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Meany?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Matul?
Yes.
Thank you, Attorney Lamanna. Any other items? I know we have some new business.
New business?
New business, Councilor LaPierre.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion to send down for public hearing in the year 2024 an ordinance that creates the position of Director of Information and Technology in the City of Lynn.
Thank you, Councilor LaPierre. Mr. Tebow, would you like to explain that public hearing to be set down?
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Field. And I've got a couple letters from the mayor for the committee this evening, but basically what we're requesting from the council tonight is to set down a public hearing to review an ordinance which would create the position of Director of Information and Technology in the city of Lynn. This position would be under the direction of the CFO and would oversee the administration and operations of technology and systems critical to the function of all city departments. And basically in recent years, the vulnerabilities of many municipalities' IT and cyber infrastructure has come under attack, and we want to ensure that our city's IT department is well equipped to take on any cyber attacks as they come. So we have a fantastic IT department, and this would be sort of strengthening and shoring up their capabilities. So we're asking for the ordinance to be set down for the creation of this position.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow. I think we saw that in the school department a couple of years back. And it took them a couple of days or a week or so, or 2 weeks or so, to get back on track. So, yep. Any motion to set it for full council? For public hearing?
You can.
Okay. I have a question.
Yep.
If Mr. Tebow, when he's got a moment, if you don't mind, is that a quick question?
Yes. Councilor Meany.
So just for clarity, we're putting down a meeting for a position to beef up our cybersecurity, and is this going to be under the existing department, or is it going to be its own kind of? How would it be organized?
This would fall under this would oversee the existing department. So this director would oversee the department, that would be under the supervision of the CFO, as it currently is.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow. Any other questions for Mr. Tebow? Okay. Is there a motion to set down for public hearing for full council?
Motion to set down.
Motion to set.
Second.
Any discussion or any further questions for the Chief of Staff, for Mayor Nicholson, Mr. Tebow? None? All in favor? Roll call, please.
Counsel Field.
Yes.
Counsel Hogan.
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre.
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Meany.
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Matul.
Yes.
That is approved. So we have 2 public hearings to come in the future. Any other business, Madam Clerk?
No other business.
What is the wish of the Ordinance Committee?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor to adjourn? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
She used to, but she's a senior, so she's getting ready for tennis. She hurt her hip last year, indoor. It took a while for her to...
1 minute.
Driving your kids too hard, what the hell?
No, she doesn't stretch.
You know, overbearing soccer dad, I hope so. That'd be
Not
awesome.
anymore, I used to be. She got big shoes to fill. She filled them this year.
Oh, is her older sibling better? Good.
No, I was...
Ah.
I reminded them this year. It's just, they were talking about she was an all-star.
Okay.
You an all-star? I said, of course I was an all-star. And they brought out my MVP trophy, and I put it out like next to the TV to remind them.
This is Daddy's
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I played over in Europe. Maybe playing college.
Calling to order Public Property and Parks Committee agenda. Roll call, please.
Counsel Chakutis?
Present.
Present. Counsel LaPierre? I know he was here. Counsel Net? Absent. Counsellor Matul?
Present.
Present. And Counsel Alanson?
Present.
Present.
All right, first on the agenda.
We have a request from North Shore Juneteenth Association to use the foyer on Tuesday evening, February 4th, 2025, for the local Black Excellence Display and opening night event.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next one.
We have ordered that His Honor the Mayor is hereby authorized to execute a grant of permanent easement to the Massachusetts Water Resource Authority and all other necessary documents related to therefore the purpose of constructing a Section 56 water main at 0 Marine Boulevard. Further ordered that His Honor the Mayor is hereby authorized to execute a memorandum of understanding and all other necessary documents with the MWRA and Charter Development Affiliates to construct the water main and expand the harbor park in a form satisfactory to the Law Department and the Planning Department.
Motion to approve.
Well, I was going to see Attorney Lamanna, if you could explain this a
Right, so
little.
the MWRA is putting a water main pipe in the area of Marine Boulevard and Hanson Street, and they need permission to put the water main underneath city streets. The good news is, as a result of this, the Harbor Park will gain a full acre of land in order to make this work. So that there will be an agreement in the future how that acre is going to look and be graded and such.
right,
So
thank
there's a
you.
sister motions, this one here for Hanson Street and the second one for Marine Boulevard, vice versa, Marine Boulevard here and then Hanson Street.
So they're both basically the same, but they're individual votes?
Correct. They're
Okay,
two different
perfect.
streets, correct.
What was, we had motion to approve. Do we have a second? Do we have to take a roll call on this? Yes. Okay, roll call, please.
Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre? Absent. Counsel Net? Absent. Counsel Matul?
Yes.
Yes. And Counsel Alanson?
Yes.
Yes.
Next one.
Next is the order that His Honor the Mayor is hereby authorized to execute a grant of permanent easement to the Massachusetts Water Resource Authority and all other necessary documents related thereto for the purpose of constructing a Section 56 water main from the dead end of Hanson Street into the Lynn Harbor. Further ordered that His Honor the Mayor is hereby authorized to execute a memorandum of understanding and all other necessary documents with the MWRA and Charter Development Affiliates to construct the water main and expand the harbor park in a form satisfactory to the Law Department and the Planning Department.
And what is the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
I second that.
Second. Roll call.
Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Present or here, yes.
Yes. Counsel Net absent. Counsel Matul?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Alanson?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Any new business, old business, nothing? Okay, what's the wish of the
No other
committee?
business.
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second? All in favor? Aye.
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 I'm not on this committee anymore.
I like the present, yes, here.
Present, yes, here.
Yes.
Present here, yes.
Present here, yes.
I'm losing it.
Presents? Presents? Somebody say presents?
It's Christmas.
Presents, right.
Birthday.
Next month.
Birthday presents. All right, we're going to reopen our licensing committee meeting for someone that was in traffic. Please, roll call again.
Counsel Field?
Present.
Present Counsel Hogan?
Present.
Present Counsel Net absent Counsel Alansog?
Present.
Present, and Counsel Mejia Madre?
Present.
Present.
We have one to take off the table.
Okay.
Can you read that, Madam Clerk?
We have Hugo's Transportation Service, 41 Hamilton Ave, and the owner is Hugo Morales, also as a livery operator.
We have a motion to take it off the table.
Take it off the table.
A motion to take it off the table, second. All in favor to take it off the table?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, that's off the table. What is the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve the license and the livery operator.
Yes, both.
Second.
Second, any discussion?
No.
None, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Those two licenses are granted. Mr. Morales, those licenses will be ready tomorrow between 10 and 4, or again on Monday after 8:30 in the city clerk's office, okay? Thank you, they're approved.
All set.
Any other business?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. We have a second by anybody on the committee. Anyone on the licensing committee want a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor to adjourn? Aye, opposed to adjourn. Thank you.
Too much sugar.
Pretty good guy.
We know you guys follow you. And I said, I love you guys. So hopefully, what can I give you? $68. Give me $18. And then the woman.
Those that warm up. To call the Ways and Means Committee to order. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh. Present. Present Counsel Hogan.
Present.
Present Counsel Chakutis.
Present.
Present Counsel Field.
Present.
Present Counsel Net absent.
Would the clerk read the transfers that are laid over?
The laid over ones will be read in full council, so I'll start with the new transfers.
Okay.
$612,000 for the proposed supplemental FY25 budget.
The wish of the council?
Motion approved.
Your motion approved. Second? All in favor? Are we gonna do roll call?
Yeah, Counsel Walsh?
Yep.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $7,995.53 to ISD for a bill of prior year.
It's the wish of the council.
Motion approved.
Motion approved. We have a second.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $206,438.40 to ISD payroll to fund inspector employees.
It's the wish.
Motion approved.
Motion approved. Second. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $50,000 to fund unemployment benefits.
It's the wish.
Motion to approve.
Motion
Second.
approved. Second. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $725,000 to fund worker comp benefits.
The wish of the committee.
Motion approved.
We have a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent.
Certified funds.
We have $146,580 to the Health Department for the Senior Center Grant Program.
Motion approved.
Motion approved. Second. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $55,000 grant to the Planning Department for the cleanup of the former White's Laundry property.
Motion approved.
We have a motion approved. Second. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $1,657,008 to the School Department for the FY25 CFCP Grant Early Childhood Care Program.
Wish of the committee.
Motion approved.
Second.
Second. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $117,503 to the School Department for the FC 262 FY25 Early Childhood SPED Grant.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved. Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $5,088,590 to the School Department for the FC 240 FY25 SPED Idea Grant.
Motion approved.
Motion approved. Second. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $157,067.17, aid for the Lynn Public Library.
Wish of the committee.
Motion to approve.
Approved. Second. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $349,007 to the Police Department for safer outcome training.
Wish of the
Motion to
committee.
approve.
Motion approved. Second. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $9,586,487 to the Planning Department for the FY24 Safe Streets and Roads Program.
The wish of the committee.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $100,000 to the Health Department for a Community Heat Resilience Pilot Program.
Wish of the committee?
Motion approved.
Second. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $350,000 to the School Department for the FC 460 FY25 Early College Support Grant.
Wish of the
Motion to
committee?
approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $7,664,640,000 to the School Department for the FC 305 FY25 Title I Grant.
Wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $678,275 to the School Department for the FC 140 FY25 Title II-A Grant.
It's the wish of the committee.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $1,120,125 to the School Department for the FC 180 FY25 Title III Grant.
Motion approved.
Motion
Second.
approved. We have a second. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. $514,895 to the School Department for the FC 309 FY25 Title IV Grant.
The wish of the
Motion to
committee.
approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent.
Clerk, read the orders.
Okay. We have ordered that the city hereby accept Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 3, to deposit revenues from rental incomes for the purpose of maintaining the City of Lynn's owned property at 195 Market Street. This funding will be known as the 195 Market Street Revolving Fund Account.
It's the wish of the committee.
Motion to approve.
We have a second. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. Ordered that pursuant to the votes of the Lynn City Council dated July 13th and September 28th of 2021 regarding the American Recovery Plan Act, the Lynn City Council hereby authorizes that the city shall allocate the sum of $174,506.55 from ARPA for use for the CD Summer Youth Employment Program for 2025 and 2026, the account to be determined.
A motion to approve. We have a second. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent. And the last one, ordered that pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53A, the City of Lynn hereby accepts a gift from Payone Charitable Trust in the amount of $250. The money is intended to be applied to the community holiday gathering sponsored by the Lynn Police.
The wish of the committee.
Approved.
Second. Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent.
Is there, Mr. Spencer, can you come up to the podium for a second, please? Is there any emergencies on any of these?
All of them,
tonight?
please.
All of them need an emergency.
Yep.
Take them as a whole.
Emergency.
Take them as a whole for an emergency. We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Net absent.
Okay. We have some other business. Councilor Field.
Thank you, Mr. President. I spoke with the city solicitor, Attorney George Markopoulos, and I asked him to attend tonight's Ways and Means Committee just to explain to Ways and Means the disclosures by municipal employees. I know there was a plan on our November 12th meeting on the agenda for a municipal employee to speak then. It's not on this agenda. And Attorney Markopoulos spoke to the State Ethics Committee, I believe, and he can further explain if anyone that is a city employee that's wishing to do business in the city, what their responsibilities are and when.
Okay. Attorney Markopoulos.
Thank you.
Please.
So I would start by saying, if we're going to discuss specific individuals, then we have to go into executive session. Are we doing that?
No.
Okay. So generally the question is, when a municipal employee in general is seeking to have some type of an outside contract with the city, he or she, in effect, has a financial interest which vests at the time of the award of the contract. Once that happens, not before, after. So there can't be sort of preemptive votes in advance. And each contract requires a separate vote. It requires a disclosure form under Chapter 268, Section 20, and it also then needs a vote. So that's what I can tell you with a broad brush. That's what I told you earlier, Counselor. If you have any further questions, I'll answer them.
Any other questions? And again, this was a point of clarification to make it clear to not just myself, but I wanted to make sure the Ways and Means Committee is aware that if there are city employees that have an interest in a business, that it is their responsibility if they bid on a particular job, that each time after that bid is awarded, if they're the winning bid, they will have to come before Ways and Means before that bid can be finalized, correct? Am I saying that correctly?
You are. I just want to add something. That has to happen within 30 days. They have to fill out a form and then get on the agenda and get a vote by the council.
And that came direct from the state ethics?
That's what we always understood in the office, and I verified that with speaking with the chairman of the Ethics Commission yesterday and today.
Okay.
Any other questions?
And one question I do have for the attorney. Is this something that the purchasing department sends the letter of award to the bid? Are they going to notify each person if they have a conflict, and they're going to notify them to let them know that?
Counselor, I don't know if they do that. That's a good idea, though.
Okay. Okay.
Going forward.
Okay. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay. Councilor LaPierre.
I just had a question based on Councilor Field's original question around when you say, is it strictly a City of Lynn employee or any public employee?
A City of Lynn
Just
employee.
within the
Yes,
city limits?
that's
Doesn't
correct.
matter if you're a
Well,
public employee in another municipality.
there might be situations, again, you're asking me a very general, very broad question. I'll answer it very generally and very broadly. It could be somebody that works for another municipality, city, or town that may have some type of connection or a relationship within the City of Lynn proper.
I see.
And that may trigger the disclosure as well.
Gotcha.
Every situation is fact-specific.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I appreciate Attorney Markopoulos' time to explain that to the full committee.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's the wish of the committee?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor? Adjourned. Okay. Oh, we're good. We're ready to rock and roll, right? You good? You guys good? All right. I'm going to call the Tuesday, November 26th council meeting to order.
No demand.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Arnsug?
Present.
Present. Counselor Chakutis?
Present.
I hear you.
Present.
Present. Counselor Field?
Present.
Present. Counselor Hogan?
Present.
Present. Counselor LaPierre?
Present.
Present. Counselor Matul?
Present.
Present. Counselor McLean?
Present.
Present. Counselor Meany?
Present.
Present. Counselor Meji Madre?
Present.
Present. Counselor Net absent. Counselor Walsh?
Present. I just want to say one thing. Councilor Net is away with his family on vacation, so we hope he enjoys himself and his time with his family. We all rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Special prayer for my dad, Mr. President. Usually around this time, he's way back in the Philippines watching our meeting now, so I'll miss him tremendously.
Mr. President, can we remember the family of Agnes Ricco?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America,
to the
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We accept the minutes from October 29th.
Motion to accept.
A motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion has been made to accept the minutes. Communications from his mayor.
Okay, we have, dear councilors, pursuant to Section 10-3, subsections A and D of the Lynn City Charter, I am hereby appointing Zosha Van Meter to the position of Director of Inspections in the Inspectional Services Department for the City of Lynn. Pursuant to Section 3-9 of the Lynn City Charter, I am respectfully requesting that the council confirm Ms. Van Meter's appointment at your November 12, 2024 meeting. If confirmed, Ms. Van Meter will assume the position immediately and commence her term of office on the aforementioned date, which will now be November 26, 2024.
It's the wish of the council.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Counsel Arnsug.
Zosha Van Meter.
Counsel Chakutis.
Zosha Van Meter.
Counsel Field.
Zosha Van Meter.
Counsel Hogan.
Zosha Van Meter.
Councilor LaPierre.
Zosha Van Meter.
Counsel Matul.
Zosha Van Meter.
Counsel McLean.
Miss Van Meter.
Counsel Meany.
Miss Van Meter.
And Counsel Meji Madre.
Zosha Van Meter.
Counsel Net absent. Counsel Walsh.
Zosha Van Meter. I
Zosha
think
Van
she's
Meter.
here tonight, so congratulations. All right. Do us proud now, okay? A lot of work to be done. All right, thank you. Next item here.
The councils, I am also making the following appointments to the GAR Board. Wayne Johnson, 16 Pendexter Street. His term will expire April 1st, 2027. Vince Mori, 30 Bassett Street. His term will expire April 1st, 2027. Mitchell Ahern, 78 Hillside Ave. His term will expire April 1st, 2026. Bradley Goslin, 44 Linden Terrace. His term will expire on April 1st, 2026. Patricia Lee, 205 Edgemere Road. Her term will expire on April 1st, 2026. Tanvir Malik, 97 Lafayette Park. His term will expire on April 1st, 2027. To the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, Virginia Lee, 54 R. Nahant Street. Her term will expire on October 1st, 2026. Brenda Ortiz Pena, 15 Ramsdale Place. Her term will expire on October 1st, 2026. To the Human Rights Commission, Joshua Perez, 12 Fearless Ave. His term will expire on December 31st, 2026. Brandy Rodriguez, 137 Bellevue Road. Her term will expire on December 31st, 2025. And Ivana Solano, 36 Market Street, number 4. Her term will expire on December 31st, 2026. Sincerely, Mayor Jared C. Nicholson.
It's the wish of the council.
Motion to accept.
Confirm. Second. Discussion. Do we do a roll call? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, good. Council appointment.
We have a council appointment, Mr. Lawrence Wenzel, 117 Oak Crest Road, to the Traffic Commission, effective immediately. His term will expire on September 27th, 2026.
Wish of the council?
Cemetery Commission or Traffic Commission?
Traffic Commission.
Traffic Commission. Yeah, there was a print. Yeah,
It's a typo.
typo on it. Yep.
It's a traffic.
Motion to
Motion to approve.
Second.
second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Counsel Arnsug.
Lawrence Wenzel.
Wenzel. Counsel Chakutis.
Lawrence Wenzel.
Lawrence Wenzel. Counsel Field.
Lawrence Renzel.
Lawrence Wenzel. Counsel Hogan.
Larry Wenzel.
Larry Wenzel. Counsel LaPierre.
Larry Wenzel.
Larry Wenzel. Counsel Matul.
Laurie Wenzel.
Larry Wenzel. Counsel McLean.
Larry Wenzel.
Larry Wenzel. Counsel Meany.
Larry Wenzel.
Larry Wenzel. Counsel Meji Madre.
Larry Wenzel.
Wenzel. Counsel Net absent, and Counsel Walsh.
Lawrence Wetzel. All right. Good. It's been approved. Thank you. Public hearings.
The first public hearing is to determine the percentages for the FY25 tax levy.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor about this? Come on up. How we doing, Chris?
Good evening. Chris Gator, Director of Assessing. Just the purpose of this meeting tonight is to determine the residential factor for the tax levy of FY25. When it comes down to setting a tax rate, there's really three components. It's the valuation, property Municipal spending and the tax levy. Currently, the tax levy is at $168 million. That's factored into the FY25 budget. So within that amount is where the classification comes in. So how are you going to vote to spread the tax liability throughout all major classes? So the tax classification, currently the lowest residential factor would be 0.9129, which represents just over 90% of what the residential tax would be transferred over to commercial, industrial, and personal property. So overall, the valuation adjustments throughout the city, we saw an increase of roughly 6% overall. That was right in line with many communities in the North Shore. This results in an increase of 4.6%, or roughly $250 to the average single-family home in the city. I'm here for any questions, so if I can assist in any way. Per year, yeah.
Mr. Gator, how are you doing today?
How are you?
I just had a question, just something that popped off the page. Is there any reason that personal property revenues increased by almost 8% this year? Is that typical?
What's happening right now is that National Grid, primarily Boston Gas, is doing a lot of underground utility work. And we had about $24 million in new growth just from that utility there underground. So that's really what's happening. Lynn has a very old utility infrastructure. So the last few years, we've seen tremendous growth in those utilities.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the council? All right, Chris, if you just have a seat, and if anyone has anything else, we'll continue with the public hearing. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Seeing no one, the part of the hearing is closed. Anybody in opposition? Anybody want to speak in opposition? Anybody want to speak in opposition? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. It's the wish of the council.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the lowest possible
The lowest
tax rate.
possible increase.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion on it? Roll call.
Counsel Alanson?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Matul?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel McLean?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Meany?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Meji Madre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Net absent. Counsel Walsh?
Yes. Carries. Next public hearing.
We have a public hearing on a proposed supplemental fiscal year 2025 budget.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor of it? Anyone want to speak in favor of the supplemental budget? Anyone want to speak in favor? That part of the hearing is closed. Anyone want to speak in opposition to the supplemental budget? Anyone in opposition? Anyone in opposition? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. What is the wish of the council?
Motion to approve?
A motion to approve. We have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on it? Roll call.
Counsel Alanson?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Matul?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel McLean?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Meany?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Meji Madre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Net absent. Counsel Walsh?
Yes. Carries. Next item.
We have a public hearing for an ordinance amending the terms of employment for the Chief of Department, ISD.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Mr. Tebow from the mayor's office.
Thank you, Council President. So as I had come before you all in October, this is something that we're asking for you to adopt as an ordinance, which would give us the ability to amend the terms of employment for the chief of the Department of Inspectional Services. Last spring, we worked together to establish a capital projects unit for the city of Lynn, and as that those positions in that unit get filled, it's going to leave a vacancy for the chief of ISD. It's sort of an outdated ordinance that lays out the salary for that, and so what we're seeking through this ordinance is to update that, give the mayor the ability to enter into a contract, which we would bring before you all for review and approval. So happy to answer any questions if you have it.
All right. Just, anyone have any questions for Mr. Tebow? Council up
It's
here.
more of a clarifying question. When you say ordinance, there will also be, I imagine, a job description and a posting and so forth.
Yep, and so right now, we sort of have that outlined. We're expecting to try and go live with the job posting Monday, and we're working with we brought the Collins, because this is such a large position for a large department, we've been working with the Collins Center to help us out with that search and make sure we get the right person for the job.
So our function as the ordinance would be to make sure that the salary is aligned with today's work that's going to be in the description.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep, thank you. Thank you for that question.
Any other questions? All right, John, have a seat. We'll just continue the public hearing. Thank you. Anyone else in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Seeing on that part of the hearing is closed. Anyone in opposition to this? Anybody want to speak in opposition? Anybody want to speak in opposition? Seeing on that part of the hearing is closed, what's the wish of the council?
Motion approved.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Counsel Alanson?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Matul?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel McLean?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Meany?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Meji Madre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes.
Your motion carries. Next hearing.
We have a public hearing for an ordinance amending the terms of employment for the chief, I did that,
We did that
sorry.
one already. Yep.
Okay, one mistake. Okay, public hearing for an ordinance promoting housing stability in the city of Lynn.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor about this? Come on up to the podium.
Thank you, Council President Walsh and members of the council for allowing me to speak in favor of this ordinance on behalf of Mayor Nicholson. So the proposed ordinance in front of you tonight requires landlords to provide tenants with basic information to tenants about tenants' rights and housing-related resources available to them, both at the start of tenancy and any time an eviction process is catalyzed. This aligns with recommendations from Housing Lynn, which is the city's housing production plan, to adopt policies that protect the rights of renters. And we see this as a great opportunity to increase the reach of tenants' rights information across the city. We've been in discussion with a number of other municipalities who have adopted similar ordinances, namely Boston and Somerville. And we've also been working in partnership with Northeast Legal Aid to develop the actual packet and document that landlords would provide to tenants. You should have received this document a few weeks back, and this document would also be translated into Spanish, Khmer, Portuguese, and Haitian Creole at a minimum. Over the past couple of weeks, we've also been in communication with housing advocacy organizations, including Lynn United for Change and Neighbor to Neighbor, as well as several counselors, about how we can strengthen this ordinance as proposed. And we have several amendments that would clarify the requirements around translation, better articulate the fees for enforcement, and create record-keeping requirements on behalf of landlords. And with that, we would respectfully ask for the council's favorable consideration of this ordinance with the proposed amendments.
All right, thank you, Daniel. Thank you. Anyone else want to speak in favor of this? Anybody want to speak in favor? Come on up to the podium.
Muy buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Ana Molina y yo he vivido por 5 años en la 152 de la Chestnut Street aquí en Lynn.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ana Molina, and I live in
la 152 Chestnut
152 Chestnut
Lynn,
Street in Lynn.
Lynn Street. Yo he vivido por 5 años y yo tenía el dueño era antes uno y hoy es otra persona, ¿verdad? Entonces, cuando
So I've lived in this home for 5 years. I had one landlord, and now I have another one.
sí, y me le han subido más de $1,000 a la renta. Entonces, bueno, me sentí mal, ¿verdad? Pero encontré a una persona que conocía de la institución Lynn Unidos por el Cambio.
So they raised the rent for $1,000, and I was feeling bad about it. And I found the association Lynn for Change.
Unidos por el Cambio.
United
Y-
for Change.
Sí, entonces me informé porque muchas veces estamos desinformados y pues no sabemos qué hacer. Pensé que me iban a sacar del apartamento.
So I got informed because I didn't know what to do. I thought they were going to kick me out of the place.
Porque soy madre soltera de 2 adolescentes y por eso estoy aquí apoyando para una nueva ley.
And because I'm a single mom of 2, so that's why I'm here to support this new law.
Y pues les pido, por favor, que sean nuestras voces escuchadas, porque como inquilinos tenemos derechos y hay una gran importancia de construir estas leyes para que pues la vida de nosotros se nos haga un poco menos difícil.
And we would like to be heard because to make our lives easier, we want our voices to be heard.
Y gracias a esta institución que he conocido de Lynn Unidos por el Cambio, de aquí de Lynn, ¿verdad? Todavía estoy en mi apartamento.
Thanks to this organization, Lynn United for Change, I am still in my apartment.
Porque soy de las personas que pues me preocupo por mi renta y llevo a tiempo mi renta, entonces por eso me gustaría que hubiera una ley para que seamos apoyados.
Because I'm the kind of person that pays the rent. I pay for my rent. I worry about that, and I want this law to be provided.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Good evening, everyone. This letter was sent from one homeowner here in the city of Lynn. Her name is Fior Figueroa and Diogenes Contreras. They both are from 24 Trinity Avenue in Lynn. And this is what they said. I think that this proposal that you want to implement for homeowners and tenants is very important because we are an example of how difficult it is when tenants do not know their legal rights. Many years ago, the building where we live with our family suffered a foreclosure, and the bank became the owner of the property. We were going to be evicted with 2 children and a newborn baby. It is a very difficult situation, not knowing where to go and where you are going to end up, and sadness and uncertainty, just not knowing. At the last moment before we were forced to leave, we found a community group called Lynn United for Change that gave us information about our legal rights. Thanks to this group who fights for the people, we did not end up on the streets, and now we are homeowners. Now we rent to other tenants, and we hope that our tenant and other tenants of Lynn do not have to go through the difficult times that we went through. Our experience shows how just a little information can make a big difference for families. As Lynn residents and homeowners, we support the House and Stability Bill. Thank you so much. Fior Figueroa and Diogenes Contreras.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Come on up to the podium.
Good evening. I have I'm in favor of the bill. My name is Richard Felton. I'm in favor of the bill, but I have 2 questions. Who will be the governing body of this program if the council so approved? And would there be any civilians on the oversee board of the program?
I think there's already a board. There's a housing board of people that oversee it, and a lot of the direction for this came out of a housing production plan that's been vetted, approved, and accepted by the body here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Hello. My name is Charlie Clark. I'm a resident of Lynn, Ward 3. I'm a renter there. I'm also a member of Neighbor to Neighbor. I'm speaking in support of this bill. Knowledge alone is not enough to ensure that tenants' rights are enforced, but it is an important first step so tenants know when their rights are being violated. Currently, there are vast disparities in the amount of knowledge between a landlord and a tenant that exacerbates the power differential between the two. And providing this small packet of tenant rights in the most commonly spoken languages in Lynn and ensuring that landlords get signatures from their tenants, making sure that everyone knows that everything's been read by everybody, is an incredibly important step in making sure that tenants in this city are able to, fight back against unjust practices by the people who are they're paying rent to. Also, as a matter of practice and of exercising co-governance in Lynn, I think this amendment here, or these sets of amendments, really speak to the City Hall reaching out to community members to collaborate on ordinances that benefit the whole community. I think by supporting this set of amendments, not only are you doing the good of them themselves, but also setting a, hopefully like a part of a larger pattern of governance that frankly Lynn has been missing. So yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor?
Calvin Anderson, 12 Concord Street. And I'm totally in support of this for all the right reasons. And I just want to remind everybody, this is a beta model where municipalities and local bodies such as yours are empowered to start taking a look at more things like this, because with the new climate coming in January 20 in Washington, you're not going to expect anything from the feds on this. You know, it's stacked against us. So we have to circle our wagons here at the local grassroots level, and this means people like you, who are elected by the people, to start thinking outside the box. Now go down the list, think of all the things that might be in jeopardy coming up, what we just took for granted as rights. So let's look at it. And I know there's enough activists here that know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm in favor of this, but just let it be a springboard.
All right, thank you. Anyone else in favor of this?
Hello, my name is Surielis, and this statement is from Lynn United for Change. At Lynn United for Change, we know that this one housing stability law is not going to solve the housing crisis alone. But we also know from our experience working with thousands of tenants and homeowners that a little bit of information and support can go a very long way. We have seen people facing eviction, foreclosure, or horrible living condition able to turn their situation around with information about their rights. This is why support this housing stability law. It is small but very important step in the fight for housing as a human right. We are so glad to see this proposal reflects the needs and ideas of the tenants and homeowners we work with. This is the letter that dozens of Lynn residents signed in support of strong housing stability. Too many tenants in Lynn suffer with unhealthy and unsafe conditions because they do not know who to call to help. Too many people get pushed out of their house through illegal eviction because they are not aware of their rights. And too often, both tenants and small-scale landlords have a financial crisis but do not know about emergency assistance programs that could help them with their utilities and rent. A strong tenant right notification law will help with all of those problems. Tenants and local landlords alike will benefit from clarity on the rights and responsibility of each side and knowledge of available assistance. All of the people of our city and local institutions like our public school will benefit from reduced eviction and more stable neighborhood where we know our neighbors and where safe homes promote good health. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Hi, thank you. My name is Gabe Cohen-Glinick. I'm an organizer with Neighbor to Neighbor here in the city. I'm just very much in favor of this ordinance. Appreciate the work that's gone into it. Want to speak in particular in support of the amendments. I think making sure that it's accessible in across the languages in the city and like is so critical because it's often folks who are new to this city, new to this country, who know the least about our housing system because it makes very little sense even to those of us who grew up here. And so I think that's really critical. And then having mechanisms to be able to actually not just have this as a policy, but able to hold landlords accountable to actually providing the information is really important. So appreciate the effort that was put into connecting with grassroots groups around making those adjustments to make it as effective as possible. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anybody wishing to speak in favor? That part of the hearing's closed. Anybody in opposition to this ordinance? Anybody in opposition? Anybody in opposition? Seeing on that part of the hearing is closed. It's the wish of the council. Oh, I'm sorry, we have some letters to read, right? Okay, you can read them. No, you can read these ones. No, you can read those. Yep.
Okay, we have a letter to the city councilor. I am writing to you about the housing stability law that is being considered. I work at General Electric as a machinist. I have lived in Lynn for almost 25 years, and I've been a homeowner for over 19 years. My home is a two-family building, and I rent out the other apartments, so I am also a landlord. I support this proposal because it's a good thing for everyone to know the rules and details of the tenant/owner contract. If the rules and details are not clear, that can lead to unnecessary stress, financial problems, and even cause unnecessary litigation and displacement of families. As a Lynn resident and as a parent with young children, it is important to me to have a more stable neighborhood where there's a chance for neighbors to get to know one another. I think a requirement for landlords like me to give some basic information to tenants is a very small price to pay for a more stable community. Thank you. Hugo Imadosi, 82 Cottage Street in Lynn.
Any other letters?
Councilor Meji-Madri?
You going to read amendments or you have letters to read?
Thank you, President Walsh. Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve with the following three amendments. Sorry, with the following three amendments. I would like to read the amendments just so we're all aware what the amendments are. So the first amendment is to strike section 4A and replace it with the following language. Inception of tenancy. Whenever a landlord enters into a new tenancy with a tenant under written lease, written tenancy at will, or oral tenancy at will, regardless of length, the landlord shall, on or before the 5th day of the tenancy, provide to the tenant a notice of basic tenancy rights and resources, which shall also include citations where additional information about such rights and resources can be obtained online or in person. The notice shall be in a form approved by the Department of Inspectional Services and obtainable on its website. The landlord shall be required to retain a receipt of acknowledgement signed and dated by the tenant and landlord demonstrating that the provisions of this section have been complied with. Such notice shall be provided in hand or by certified mail, in addition to by email if one is available in English and Spanish. Such notice shall also be available in Portuguese, Haitian Creole, and Khmer, or Khmer. Is that slow enough?
You read them all.
I'm going to read the second one. I just want to make sure. I'm just going slow for translation. Okay, the Second Amendment is to strike section 4(2) and replace it with the following language. When a landlord or foreclosing owner serves the tenant or former homeowners any notice to quit or notice of lease non-renewal or expiration, such landlord or foreclosing owner shall at the same time also provide the tenant or former homeowner with a notice of basic housing rights and resources, including a list of organizations available to assist tenants and or former homeowners with their contact information on a form or forms prepared by the City of Lynn, which shall be attached thereto. Where a landlord or foreclosing owner is exercising a right of lease non-renewal or expiration, the owner shall give such written notice prepared by the City of Lynn at least 30 days prior to commencing any summary process action against the tenant or former homeowner. The landlord shall be required to retain a receipt or acknowledgement signed and dated by the tenant and landlord, demonstrating that the provisions of this section have been complied with. Such notice shall be provided in hand or by certified mail, in addition to by email, if one is available, in English and Spanish. Such notice shall also be available in Portuguese, Haitian Creole, or Khmer. The Third Amendment is to strike Section 7 and replace it with the following language. The provisions of this ordinance shall be enforced by the Chief of Inspectional Services and their duly authorized agents, officers, and employees by a non-criminal disposition pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40, Section 21D. Each failure to comply with the requirements set forth in this ordinance with respect to an individual tenant or occupant entitled to notice hereunder shall be deemed a separate offense, triggering a separate warning or fine. Unless otherwise provided, a person or entity violating any provisions of this ordinance shall be punishable by a warning or fine in the amount of $300. Each day a violation continues to exist shall constitute a separate offense, punishable by the fine in the amount of $300. Each eviction undertaken in violation of this ordinance constitutes a separate offense. And these are the three amendments.
So that's a motion to approve with the three amendments that are...
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion. Do we have a second on it?
Second.
Okay. Discussion, Councilman.
Yeah, I just had if Attorney Amano wouldn't mind coming to the podium. I just had a question. So with the record keeping that the city's going to have on file, is that going to bring the city into any kind of litigation?
No, these ordinances have been have been passed in Boston, Somerville, and Cambridge, so I'm not concerned about any litigation. These notices are not required to be filed with the inspectional services, so we won't be keeping them. Okay. But if we are informed of a violation, we'll investigate and ask to see a copy of a certified letter that's signed by the landlord and the tenant. And if the landlord cannot produce one, there could be $300 fines.
So just for clarity, I just want to make sure that the city's not going to get dragged into any kind of these issues, because they can get quite contentious.
I do not see the city being dragged in for any monetary damages. There may be challenges to the ordinance on the eviction side, but that would not be an ordinance, would not be a challenge for any monetary loss.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Councilor McLean.
I do want to just thank the Housing Committee for working on this ordinance and for being open to listening to the community when we brought forward some issues about the amendments and making the making the ordinance stronger so that it's more effective and will serve the residents of Lynn better. So I want to thank you guys for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Council Arlington.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to invite Danya again to the podium, please, if you may.
Come on up, Danya.
I'm just curious with their consultation with other towns and cities, urban areas like Boston and Somerville. I'm just curious if you had any conversation with areas within the North Shore. And picture to us, when you say you have conversation with them, did you actually go there, or you just went to their website and get information and share documents? Just to give us that idea.
Yep. No, that's a great question. So in the first point, we did not speak with any North Shore communities or municipalities, but that was only because there were no other communities on the North Shore that had similar ordinances. Some of the municipalities beyond Somerville and Boston that we know of that have something like this is the city of Cambridge and Medford as well. And to your second question, we did not go there in person. There were several phone calls and Zoom conversations we had. And we were asking things about how their enforcement processes looked, how things, I mean, Boston has had this on the books for some time now. What are some lessons learned? How are they using technology in enforcing this? And I thought some of those conversations were pretty fruitful. So.
Last question. When did Boston and Somerville adopted this? You can just estimate, like this, since last year?
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at estimating anything, so I won't estimate the Boston one.
That's my question.
But the Somerville one, so Somerville adopted maybe this ordinance around 2018 or so, only for the time of eviction, and then a couple of years later, they added the start of tenancy as well.
And it went smooth.
Yeah, well, so some of their feedback was to make sure that there's a strong outreach process, an extensive outreach process. If we're going to enforce this with fines, there should be warnings, and there should be, folks should be really aware of these requirements. And so that's some of the things we heard from them. And also, the real goal of this, which they saw as the value of it, was to sort of drastically increase the reach of this information at scale. And from my conversations, at least with Somerville, they thought this was an opportunity to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yep, Councilor Hogan.
This time, I'd really like to thank everybody who put an effort into making this happen and stepping up for the residents of the city of Lynn and helping them have a voice. Because I know in Ward 6 we had a lot of incidents with evictions and tenants not knowing their rights. And I just really think, and I'm really happy that this is being put in, and we're one of those bodies on the North Shore that are stepping up for the residents of our city. So I want to thank you all, and I want to thank everyone that worked hard on this here. And the residents of Lynn really appreciate this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilor. Any other discussion on it? We have a motion. We have a second. Roll call.
Counselor Allensog?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Matul?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor McLean?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Meany?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Mejia Madre?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Net absent. Counselor Walsh?
Yes. Motion carries. Next public hearing.
We have a public hearing for an ordinance establishing the 195 Market Street Property Maintenance Revolving Fund under the direction and control of ISD pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53E and a half.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Mr. Tebow? Can somebody enlighten us on what this is? Attorney Lamanna, thank you.
So this is a revolving account similar to the State Street Bank. Any rental income that comes in from the Market Street property at the old Eastern Bank property will go into a revolving fund for maintenance, snow plow, and repairs.
Okay, so this is for the Eastern Bank building, we'll call it. It's the City of Lynn's building.
Correct. It was just purchased in the last month or so.
Thank you for that. Thank you. So the wish of the council.
Motion approved.
The motion approved. Second, any discussion on it? Roll call?
Is this a public hearing?
I'm sorry. Oh. Yeah, I did. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Thank you for that, Councilor Hill. I must be getting hungry. I must be getting hungry here. All right. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of it? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Anyone in opposition to it? Anybody want to speak in opposition? Anyone want to speak in opposition? That part of the hearing is closed. What's the wish of the council again?
Approve.
Motion approved. Second. Any discussion? See that? We're getting good at it. Roll call.
Counsel Alonside.
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis.
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field.
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan.
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre.
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Matul.
Yes.
Yes, Counsel McLean.
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Meany.
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Meji Madre.
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net absent, Counsel Walsh.
Yes. All right, carries. Public hearings to be set down.
Okay, we have set down a special permit request from Viewpoint Sign and Awning to install oversized signs at 1 Hanson Street. And we also have set down the following petitions from Crown Castle F Fiber LLC at multiple locations to upgrade existing wireless equipment on utility poles with new shrouds and/or antennas. And the locations are 100 Johnson Street, 30 Pleasant Street, 220 Parkland Ave, 16 Hanover Street, 605 Western Ave, 197 Linwood Street, 67 Woodlawn, 150 Blossom Street at Alley Street, 38 Gay Runway, 75 Shepherd Street, 56 Commercial Street, 3 Orchard Street, 968 Western Ave, 180 Commercial Street, 55 Elmwood Ave, 13 Curtis Street, 64 Bonavista Street, 55 Tontiquan Ave, 1 to 17 Goss Ave, 533 Boston Street at Nash Terrace, 30 Blakely Street, 64 Woodman Street, 88 Geneva Ave, and 160-144 Fairmont Ave, 55 O'Callahan Way.
It's the wish of the council.
Set them down.
Motion to set them down. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Set them down. Committees, licensing, Councilor Field.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a unanimous vote by our committee. I make a motion to approve.
Unanimous vote of the committee. Motion to approve. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Utilities, Council Ellingson.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have 9 public hearings via National Grid on wards 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7. We have a unanimous vote by the committee. Motion to approve.
Unanimous vote of the committee. Motion approved. We have a
Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Ordinance, Councilor Field.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a unanimous vote by our committee. We took 2 votes on proposed ordinances or amendments to those ordinance. We made a motion to approve to send to full council for hearing.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Public Properties and Parks, Councilor Jakutis.
Unanimous vote of the committee. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Ways and Means. It was mine to run. Unanimous vote of the committee. Would the clerk please read the transfers into the record?
We have 2 transfers laid over from October 29th, $109,500 to the Police Department for duty medical expenses, $208,960 to the Fire Department for duty medical expenses. Transfers, $612,000 for proposed supplemental FY25 budget, $7,995.53 to ISD for a bill of prior year, $206,438.40 to ISD payroll to fund inspector employees, $50,000 to fund unemployment benefits, $725,000 to fund worker comp benefits, $146,580 to the Health Department for the senior grant program, $55,000 grant to the Planning Department for the cleanup of the former White's Laundry property, $1,657,008 to the School Department for the FY25 Early Childhood Care Grant, $117,503 to the School Department for the FC 262 FY25 Early Childhood SPED Grant, $5,088,590 to the School Department for the FC 240 FY25 SPED Idea Grant, $157,067.17 for aid to the Lynn Public Library, $349,007 to the Police Department for safer outcome training, $9,586,487 to the Planning Department for the FY24 Safe Streets and Roads Program, $100,000 to the Health Department for the Community Heat Resilience Pilot Program, $350,000 to the School Department for the FC 460 FY25 Early College Support Grant, $7,664,644 $40 to the school department for the FC 305 FY25 Title I grant, $678,275 to the school department for the FC 140 FY25 Title IIA grant, $1,120,125 to the school department for the FC 180 FY25 Title III grant, $514,895 to the school department for the FC 309 FY25 Title IV grant. We have 3 orders. Order that the city hereby accepts Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 3, to deposit revenues from rental incomes for the purpose of maintaining the City of Lynn's own property at 195 Market Street. This funding will be known as the 195 Market Street Revolving Fund Account. Ordered pursuant to the votes of the Lynn City Council dated July 13th and September 28th, 2021, regarding the American Recovery Plan Act, the Lynn City Council hereby authorizes that the city shall allocate the sum of $174,506.55 from ARPA for use by the CD Summer Youth Employment Program for 2025-2026. And finally, ordered that pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53A, City of Lynn hereby accepts a gift from Pay-Own Charitable Trust in the amount of $250. The money is intended to be applied to the community holiday gathering sponsored by the Lynn Police Department.
So we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on it? Roll call.
Councilor Allensog.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Chagoudas.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Field.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Hogan.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor LaPierre.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Matul.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor McLean.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Meany.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Meji Madre.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Net. Absent. Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes.
Carries. Motion carries. We got any old business?
We have emergency.
Oh, we have emergent?
Sorry.
Oh, that's right. There was emergencies. Where's Spencer? He's not here.
Motion for emergency.
A motion for emergency. Thank you, Councilor Field, because Spencer's not here anymore.
Second.
Motion second for the emergency. Any discussion on it? Roll call.
Councilor Allensog.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Chakoudas.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Field.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Hogan.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor LaPierre.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Matul.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor McLean.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Meany.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Meji Madre.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Net absent and Councilor Walsh.
Yes. Carries for the emergency. Do we have any old business?
No.
We have some new business tonight. We have a presentation by Faustina Cuevas and Drew Russo on the first phase of the City of Lynn Equity Audit.
You did good.
You want to come on up to the front here, give us the presentation? Got IT here, too. This is good. All right. It's falling in.
Just give us a second for
Yeah,
Mr.
no
Bruno
problem.
to do the slides.
Thank you.
Oh, no, we're new now. Yeah.
All right, good evening, everyone. As a reminder, my name is Faustina Cuevas. I am the City of Lynn's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer. I also serve as a Senior Advisor to Mayor Nicholson. We're really excited tonight to be talking about an equity audit that we conducted with a grant that we received 2 years ago, which, Matt, you can go to the next slide. Thank you, Matt. So in 2022, we received a state grant for $50,000. It's a grant that happens every 2 years. The state puts out for municipalities to apply for grants. It's called the Community Compact Grant. And the reason we applied for this particular area of focus, because there's several areas of focus for this grant, was because the city had never conducted an equity audit before. So we thought it was a good time to really evaluate our services and experiences, not only internally, but also with the public. So we did that in 2 phases. The first phase was around employee experience, right? Because in order to figure out how we're doing, we also have to talk to our employees to figure out how they're feeling about the work they're doing. And we did that in the spring and summer of 2024. Right now, we are in the trenches of doing listening sessions with the public. We already conducted 2 listening sessions in English and did 1 in Spanish, and now are slated to do 2 more in Spanish to make sure that we're reaching that population as well. As you all can imagine, those take a little longer to do because that is more targeted outreach and making sure we have interpretation available. The partner, the consultant that we're working with is Ready Set Solutions. And the reason this was chosen through procurement processes, they came in with the lowest bid. But not only that, they also worked with Salem and conducted their equity audit, and that was really successful. So we felt really confident that they would be able to do this work, and they've also worked with government before. Matt, hit it. So is it still me? And now I'm going to pass it off to Drew.
So it was really impressive to work with Ready Set because they wanted to get their hands on every piece of publicly available information that they could get their hands on to really help them tell a story about the policies and the procedures and the employee perspective. So they did a comprehensive document review looking at our collective bargaining agreements, internal policies like the harassment and non-discrimination policy that we just revised with the law department in 2022, the organizational charts that you have in your municipal budget every year, and obviously taking a look at our city charter and our founding documents. They really took a really high premium on hearing from employees about their experience, and that ranged from department heads to rank and file employees, from employees that have been here for less than 5 years and for employees that have been here for a long time. They really wanted to get a cross-section of departments, roles, tenures, and identities. They conducted 12 individual interviews. There were 3 group listening sections, and those questions that were covered in those sessions it focused on perceptions around DEI, employee sense of safety, both physical safety and psychological safety, accountability within City Hall, what leadership looks like, how feedback can be delivered, and what's the path to upward mobility. We also did a survey because obviously there was not time to do an individual interview or a group listening session with everybody. That was conducted from June to July 2024. That's a survey that evolved. We actually took feedback from employees to make sure that we were getting the highest quality of feedback and candid feedback possible. The questions that were offered were similar to the listening sessions. Demographic identity, that was an optional that folks could give. And again, we think that helped us get some real quality in terms of the diversity of responses. And there was a real focus on qualitative data collection, which we think informed the recommendations from Ready Set that really start with the strengths that we can leverage. And I'm going to bring Faustina back up to talk a little bit about that.
All right, rapid fire, because Terry told me to keep this concise. So strengths we can leverage, there were several sort of bucket areas that we identified as themes. So hiring through an inclusion lens, our staff really think we're being very transparent about how we're staffing, whether someone is, whether a post is put up, and then who, how many people applied, where can I get that information? It's more accessible. We're putting it on social media. People feel that they know when positions are posted and how they can apply it and what the process is. There's greater access for Spanish-speaking population because we are able to translate posts as well and be able to be clear about who the posting is for. And we now have a more representative workforce, which allows us to do our job easier because you're able to come into different offices and have someone that speaks your language. So staff feel like really great about that. Comprehensive translation services, as you can tell, tonight we were able to translate for the housing ordinance piece, which the public asked for that. So we're able to provide that service, which is so critical to how we operate. And now we have a full-time Spanish interpreter. So our staff in the building, if you don't have a Spanish speaker in your office, you can give Alan Juarez a quick call and he'll come to you and provide that service. We also have done, for a few years now, we've provided Spanish classes free of charge to our employees. And we've had 2 classes graduate already, and we're already sort of in talks with North Shore about what that future looks like for us to continue that program, because it has been really successful. And then perception of open feedback, clear communication, and accountability by the mayor's office. So feeling that folks can come to the mayor and can deliver that feedback directly to the mayor, which creates a sense of psychological safety for employees, which means, in essence, that employees feel like they could be heard, valued, and that there's no fear around being able to share your critical feedback. Next slide. And these are some other areas as well. So grassroots equity and inclusion initiatives. As many of you know, I conduct these sort of trainings around diversity, equity, and inclusion. We've done several different workshops too with partners and consultants around conflict resolution and management skills. We've also hosted employee resource groups. 2 in particular that kept coming up as strengths were the Working Women group and the Multilingual Workforce group. We've also, as you all know, because we invite you to participate in our flag raising and heritage celebrations. And that, again, is another strength that our staff sort of named as something that they really enjoy participating in and seeing in our building. And obviously having a more accessible website that they can point the public to and have folks be able to pay things online and have messages pop up, whether it's a snow alert message, whether it's this excise taxes due, whatever it is, they're able to sort of be able to jump on the website and find that information rapidly.
And so obviously when you have strengths, you're also going to get opportunities for how you can grow. One of the things that I think we've heard for a long time and that we've tried to really work on is to eliminate perceptions of gatekeeping and favoritism. The whole idea that you can only get a job in City Hall because of who you know. And I think we all know that networking is important in our society, and we've really tried to build our network. And I think that we've shown our ability to really build a more representative workforce by being transparent and inclusive, but we've got more work to do. And there is a perception that we still have to work on eliminating perceptions of favoritism, and also a sense that there's some gatekeeping that happens within the promotional process and opportunities for professional growth, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Also, a concern about siloing and inconsistent organizational systems. There are some employees that feel kind of hesitant to offer feedback in some departments as opposed to others. Not knowing how other departments operate. One of the things that we did under Mayor Nicholson's leadership a couple of years ago was actually do a citywide in-service where employees heard from different departments and learned how they operated. Doing more things like that, we believe, will be helpful to us to really eliminate some of those perceptions and allow people to get to know how departments work. One of the things that we did this past year was actually bring in employees from other departments to do our summer workshops. So it wasn't just everybody that worked in the personnel department, it was folks that worked across city departments, so they had people that they could go to and they could build relationships. A narrow understanding of DEI. When talking about DEI, people really saw DEI as limited to race and gender. But in our conversations with Ready Set, we really need to do a better job, and it's something that Faustina and I have talked about, that our DEI initiatives, they can feel exclusive, they can feel segregated by race, and that the idea and the concept of DEI can be more inclusive. Looking at veteran services, for example, or how we deal with people that have differences in ability, differences in learning, people who are in recovery. And so there's a whole host of ways that we can really take a look at that and help to make those experiences, those employee resource groups, more inclusive and really help to bolster the employee experience. And then, perceptions of limited upward mobility. We are proudly a union city. A lot of our collective bargaining agreements that we've negotiated do have seniority-based promotional process. Some employees, some newer employees find that to be a little bit inhibiting. They wonder about their ability to grow. And so really working not just together as a management team, but with our union partners to really address some of those concerns, because that perceived inability to grow really could lead to retention issues. And I think that we all can agree that we have built a tremendous staff. But fortunately, we have a blueprint for moving forward, and Faustina is going to talk about that to close us out.
All right, recommended action. So where do we go from here? We have the information. What do we do with it? So these were some recommended action steps that we are now exploring and looking into. Expanding our DEI initiatives, like Drew mentioned, really looking at other sort of affinity groups and sort of the intersection beyond sort of gender and race. Additional second language courses. So folks were saying it's great that we have a Spanish class, but could there be other languages as well, which we thought was really thoughtful in thinking about the community we serve. Develop citywide standards for communication and feedback. So folks want to be able to have a process, although they feel like they can give feedback, but how can that be done in a confidential way? How can that be done in a way that is a little bit more structured? Individual management coaching is another opportunity for growth, especially for our new managers. And that's something that we've already tried to do, but maybe doing it more thoughtfully and consistently. Clear, accessible information on growth and opportunities. So enhancing our onboarding process. It is a little bit of, you're here, you're ready, you're competent, go for it. But folks want a little bit more support as they're transitioning to city government, which is completely understandable. We talked about opportunities for sponsorship programs. So even let's say you have reached the highest position you can in your department, what are other opportunities for you to grow? And where are those areas that maybe you want to learn more that doesn't necessarily have to happen in your department? So we talked about that. And then systemize sustainability, equitable hiring processes, like Drew mentioned. There's a lot of perceptions around how those opportunities happen, and being able to say, hey, this is the process for upward mobility within city government or within your department, and being able to have that more sort of accessible so that people feel like it's equitable. Any questions? And if you have any, Terry might kill you. No, I'm just kidding.
Have you ever thought about being an auctioneer? Because that was awesome. Good job.
Thank you.
Right, so, any questions from the council on any of this? Council
I just had a quick question, Mr. President, for Faustina. In the audit itself, were you strictly, the audience participation was here in this building on site, or did it encompass police, fire, DPW, library?
It was just City Hall. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're looking to expand upon that?
So it was just City Hall, and it just came down to funding. We only had $50,000 to play with here. So it was strictly looking at City Hall and City Hall operations. So, which is why we just interviewed City Hall staff. Now, the listening sessions is about the public's perception and interactions with City Hall. So that's what we're doing right now, is conducting those listening sessions. And then we'll have a similar sort of report for you in January that will come back. If you invite us back, we'll come back to give you that report of what the public said. Yeah, the feedback, essentially the same sort of format, strengths, opportunities for growth around what the public is sharing with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else from the council? Council McLean.
How do we find out about these public meetings that are going on?
So in order to respect anonymity, we are not participating in those. Our consultants are reaching out directly to our community partners. So we reach out to nonprofit leaders, some of them which were here today, and said, hey, these sessions, we have 10 slots in each of these. Can you help us fill it with your people? We are not sort of part of that process because we want to make sure that the public is feeling comfortable in providing that feedback. We do have another Spanish-speaking session. So if you all have Spanish-speaking constituents that would like to participate, let's connect, because we do have one more session available for Spanish-speaking residents.
Okay, thank you. Anything else from the council? Councilor Padre.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you for everything you're doing, Faustina, as well as Drew. I think it's definitely making a difference, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you. Anything else from the council? I think we're good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Any other new business?
It's a hot stepper.
We have a presentation from Joseph from the ARPA funds. Come on up, Joseph.
Thank you. Hey, how's your feet doing after all that walking?
What do you wear for footwear, Joe?
Yeah.
I want to get me a pair.
Where do we pay? How do we pay you to walk around with this? Ryan. Thank you, John.
Keep an eye on your pen.
I want to get a pair,
We need to build the shoes and doors for you.
He's got dress shoes on.
Feet will explode. What's he doing here?
No.
That's sleeping.
All right. Thank you and good evening, everyone. I'm Joey Hustins. I am the ARPA manager. I work in the Office of the Chief Financial Officer. I will be giving just kind of a broad kind of update on our expenditures and our commitments to our ARPA state and local fiscal recovery funds. All right, so for those that may still be unfamiliar, we have two major deadlines regarding the use of these ARPA funds. The most immediate deadline is December 31st of this year, 2024, which is right around the corner. So all of our funds have to be fully committed through two projects through contracts, purchase orders, or agreements. And then the next deadline would be December 31st of 2026. This is our expenditure deadline. We have to have all ARPA SLFRF funds fully expended by that date. All right, and that brings us to our ARPA dashboard. You may remember this from the last time that I presented to the council. So I'm happy to say that we are on track to comply with the upcoming obligation deadline. We are on track to have all of our funds fully committed by the end of this year. And so you'll see that the only unallocated amount is the amount that was approved today, the $174,000 that would go to the summer jobs program. And you can see that we have spent nearly, or actually over half of our total ARPA allocation, which is great as we head into calendar year 2025. And then we have, under half that is fully committed at this point, and will comply with that upcoming deadline. The city, as you can see, has allocated ARPA funds to 117 projects, 63 of which are city managed, and another 54 projects which are managed by our partnering nonprofit organizations. And next slide. All right, so I'll try to speed through some of these highlights here. But the Small Business Assistance Program, as you may know, granted funds to over 500 small businesses throughout the city. This was one of our first ARPA-funded projects, the majority of which we're proud to say were minority and or women-owned businesses. And we also funded the rental assistance programs through the Lynn Housing Authority, which have served over 544 residents thus far. We also have funded the transportation consulting services through which our planning department has been able to secure $9.6 million in federal grants for the Safe Streets for All program. We've also funded ESOL classes through Pathways and helped city employees obtain their commercial driver's licenses. This is all part of workforce and education development. Next slide. And through our eviction prevention program with the Northeast Legal Aid, we have successfully served over 300 Lynn residents with crucial legal services. We have assessed improvement plans throughout our park system, which totals 21 city parks. And as you know, through the summer jobs program, the Department of Community Development was able to employ over 400 youth workers, which was a huge increase over previous years, and we're excited to be able to continue that through 2025 and 2026. And we've also funded the purchasing of 2 new fire engines, which are expected to arrive in early 2025. Here you will see 9 development projects that have been funded both through ARPA and the city's newly established Affordable Housing Trust Fund. With all these projects lined up, we will see an increase of 565 affordable housing units. Thank you. With ARPA funds, the DPW has been able to secure a number of new vehicles and heavy machinery. This was a $1.3 million allocation. And this $300,000 allocation to these new trash receptacles that you've probably seen around the city. You'll see in this map here, all 81 locations are featured. And we'll get into some of the parks updates here. So for Lynn Woods, or as you know, there was an $18 million allocation to all 6 of the following parks. So for the Lynn Woods, work was completed in October of 2024. For Keeney Park, work is anticipated to be completed in August of 2025. And Gallagher Park, anticipated completion is January 2025. Kiley Park, December 2024, right around the corner. And McManus Park is anticipated to be completed in August of 2025. And of course, these completion dates are somewhat estimated based off of weather and other variables. I will not go through this whole list, of course, but I've provided a list of the over 30 nonprofit organizations that the city has partnered with to deliver crucial services to our community. You will find these organizations and the funded projects also in the ARPA budget packets that were given out prior to this as well. On the subject of our partnering nonprofit organizations, I specifically wanted to highlight one of our largest community projects that has ARPA funding in it, which is the new Leo Preschool at 156 Broad Street. The City of Lynn invested $3 million into this project, and it is scheduled to be completed later this winter. And since this new allocation went through today, I just wanted to highlight the success of this past summer's program, that 445 youth were employed through this program, which is a huge increase from previous years, and we're very excited to partner the next 2 summers with the Department of Community Development to continue delivering on these services.
All right, great.
All righty.
Any other questions from the council here tonight? Council Arlington?
Thank you, Mr. President. Joe, this is a very good presentation. Congratulations. In your detailed ARPA listing,
yes,
I just want to have some clarification about Seaford Movement Contract. It's LPS.
Mm-hmm.
It is my understanding that the Lynn Public School has their own ARPA allocation. Why is it in this list?
Yeah, that's a good question.
140,000.
So the schools don't have their own ARPA allocation. They have ESSER, so they received ESSER funds from the federal government. The schools have had this ongoing annual contract with the Seaforth Movement, and this was something that the council voted on, I think back in May, if I'm correct about that. But this would, there was a need for funding to continue that contract, and we supplied ARPA funds for it.
Okay.
This is one of probably one of the only examples where it's where ARPA funds have gone towards Lynn Public Schools. Because you are correct that it's kind of separate.
Thank you, Joe. There's 36 nonprofit organizations as you listed here. It is my wish that this council will be provided at least like individual report about how they spent the money moving forward. Mm-hmm. As simple as that. It's just for transparency purpose. Also, we spent $174,000 for a summer youth program. That's amazing. But what will happen if we run out of ARPA money? Are we still continuing this program in a lesser scale, or what would be the plan of?
Sure. So, I mean, I'm aware that there are other funding sources for this summer jobs program. So this was, as you all know, there was a need to have additional funds this past summer as we were looking to employ every youth eligible worker in Lynn, which I believe we were able to do successfully. So, that was why there was a larger ARPA allocation this past year. And so this $174,000 is not going to cover the entire program for 2025 or 2026. It's just going to be a piece of that, and community development has other funding sources for it. As for after 2026, that's just going to be kind of a conversation of how to continue sustaining that program.
Thank you. And last but not the least, there's $174,000 unallocated money after. What are we going to do with this money? Is there a process for?
Right. So that $174,000 was up until this council vote tonight. So now at this point, that's the money that went into the summer jobs program, and so all the money is now set to be committed.
Thank you. I have no questions.
Okay. Any other questions? Councilor Field?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to echo my colleague's remarks. Thank you, Joey, for this very detailed update for us and for the city. I want to acknowledge the mayor's office for including all of us in the whole process. I know that firm deadline from the federal government of December 31st of this year. A lot of questions were being asked of how we were going to spend any remaining money and expecting any overages or to offset any unforeseen. Having a conversation with Mayor Nicholson, and I know you did as well, Council President, so I want to thank my colleagues on the City Council for approving this final vote tonight through Ways and Means of the $174,000 plus for those youth jobs. We saw how important they were last summer, and I felt, and I know that all of you feel, that this was certainly a worthwhile approval to continue that program with the remaining funding. And as Joey mentioned, that it's a supplement to what community development will have as well. So I commend the mayor's office and everybody that worked hard, and again, all my colleagues for the whole process of including everybody in the city and being transparent about how these $75 million plus were spent.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Hogan.
Just in closing, I want to say the McManus Field Lynn Tech project, watching that come along, I thought it was embarrassing that the city of Lynn had one turf field, and now, look, we're going to have 2 football fields right at Lynn Tech. They can play a soccer game and a football game at the same time, and these ARPA funds are going to come through to that. That's going to be a state-of-the-art facility right down there on Commercial Street in Ward 6, and I'm just happy this ARPA money came along and we used it for something that's going to be around for many years for these kids in our neighborhoods, our immediate neighborhoods to use. And a lot of people are excited and just seeing this progress. I thank everybody for keeping all these projects on schedule. And come fall next year, it's going to be really amazing for the city of Lynn and seeing what's going on down there off of Commercial Street. So thank you, and thank everybody that worked hard on these projects. Thank you.
All right. Anything else from the council? Questions, comments? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the update. We have some new business. Would John Tebow, Mike Bertino come on up? We're going to just give us an update on what happened with the trash billing that went out, the trash fees, please.
Sure. Thank you. Good evening, Council President Walsh and councilors again. Thanks for having me up here. So I think, as you all know, last week I've had many conversations with many of you about the demand fee, which was imposed on our residents who had not yet paid their trash bills. This year was the first year that we've transitioned from a trash billing that we previously sent out trash bills on the calendar year. This year we aligned that with the fiscal year to make it a little bit easier on our finances, and also to align with the contract year that we have with our vendors. So we had tried to do our best to forewarn residents that this change was coming, and I think it's no surprise that we seemingly fell short of that. So after many conversations with each of you, we had decided, the mayor and the CFO decided to waive the $30 demand. And anybody that had received that was refunded that, or excuse me, anybody that had paid already was refunded that amount, and that will be waived through January 31st. Anybody not having paid their trash bill in full by that time, a $30 demand will be reinstituted. Again, I want to extend my appreciation for all of you that spoke with me, that extended me some of your patience as we tried to work through this, but I think we were able to do so, understanding that there was a lot of confusion around the bill, there was a lot of confusion around the dates, and so we not only waived that, but going forward next year too, I should say, people can expect that the first bill will go out late September to be due for October 31st, 2025, and a second bill will then go out midwinter 2026 for a payment March 2026. So we'll get sort of back onto that 2 billing, enough timeline to allow people to pay, to not have that significant financial burden all at once, and also to give them some notice to avoid incurring any demand fees.
Right. Any questions for John from the council? Council Matul.
Just for clarification, the people who paid the fee already, do they get a refund or do they get credit towards the next bill?
It'll be a refund.
It'll be a refund.
Just have something. If somebody wants the refund, or if somebody, who should they, at home, who people watch it, who should they contact about any issues they're having with it?
Yeah, I mean, they can definitely reach out to the mayor's office so we can connect them with the treasurers. But they should have automatically been issued the refund.
Okay. But just general speaking, problems, some people just found out again, they got their mail, like, what is this? They're not sure, they're at home watching.
Yeah.
Who can they contact in order to get some clarification?
Yeah, they can reach out to the mayor's office. And with any questions, we'll route that to the proper financial department.
Okay. Any other comments? Council up here.
I think more a question for the CFO. Mike, can you just run through again for our purposes of why legally this trash fee cannot be incorporated into regular property tax bills? That it must be issued separately as opposed to in a tax bill.
That's correct. This legislation was actually, the requirement was actually put into the bailout bill of 2018. So we were required to bill people for trash twice a year based on a calendar year. The billing systems for municipal governments are all on fiscal year. So that created a problem. So we made do for the last 3 or 4 years, but it was the fallout bill that added this, and it's also the fallout bill that added the demand as well. So we're just following the law. It's just at the time that it was enacted, we used a homemade system that was given to us for nothing, and we finally were able to purchase a proper municipal software, but we had to transition slowly from a calendar year to the fiscal year. So this was why we have to bill it separately.
And not quarterly like your property tax.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from the council? Council Field.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, I just want to say thank you to the mayor's office, especially Mr. Tebow and Mayor Nicholson, yourself, Mr. President, for taking our calls, Mr. Bertino, and Mr. Gator and Ms. Fannin for taking our calls on the weekend. I think everybody got their late fee notice on a Saturday. And
they were all cordial, right? Cordial
yeah,
phone calls, discussions.
And certainly with the amount of confusion to address that. So thank you for addressing that as soon as we could for the public.
All right, thank you. Just note, I called John Tebow on a Sunday afternoon with his, he had his kid with him, and he answered his phone. He was straightening it out. So thank you, guys. Any other comments?
January 31st, 2020.
Any other questions or comments from the council? All right, thank you. Is there any other new business anyone wants to add to this? Councilor Field?
Oh, we're talking about trash and litter. Just on behalf of Councilor Chakutis and myself, the co-chairs of the Trash and Litter Committee, we just concluded our 7th season of Keep Lynn Clean Saturdays, so I just want to acknowledge all my colleagues on the council that help participate and make this successful. All of the individual volunteers, a special thank you to them, and to the number of volunteer groups that participated, some weekly and some on multi-Saturdays, for all the hard work that they put in. A special thank you to Lisa and Eric and the DPW workers for making this a success, and we hope to look forward to seeing everybody next spring for our 8th season of Keep Lynn Clean Saturdays. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Any new business? So wish of the council.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Just want to say one thing here. Now that we're adjourned, we have another item coming up if people would like to stay with us. Some people in the crowd, as you noticed here tonight. I'm going to have Dan Dill, I think, is here in the crowd here tonight. Do you want to come on up here for us for a second? Get us started here tonight.
Thank you.
Shut
up. Dan, see you.
We're still here.
They're not going to film this? Yeah, they are. Oh, yeah. Citations, Lynn's BC Hall of Fame recipients.
Joshua. I haven't my draw. Everybody was like saying, like, you want popcorn, you want mangoes, you want Hershey bars? You want some?
My name's Dan Dill, and I'm going to facilitate this meeting tonight. We're not going to have a lot of speakers. We're calling this a Lynn Classical Night of Greatness. Okay, we've accomplished a lot of things over the years, and we're the only town or city in Massachusetts and New England that now has 4 individuals in the Boston College Hall of Fame. So we're going to embrace. In conjunction with embracing and celebrating the 4 of those that are in the BC Hall of Fame, we're going to have a special recognition and recognize Dr. Eddie Robinson. I don't know if anyone saw the obituary. He was a legendary success story from Lynn Classical. His family's here tonight, and we're going to honor him also before we get into the BC Hall of Fame things. Ed Robinson Jr., you want to come up here for a second? And you're... Dr. Ed Robinson, class of 1953, Lynn Classical. He was the class president his junior and senior year. Still holds the record for the city of Lynn and probably the North Shore of scoring 63 points in one game. This is long before the three-pointer. Okay, and he was recruited by Kentucky Dukes. Schools all over the country wanted him, but he wanted to be a doctor, so he went to Yale University. When he went to Yale University, they had finished last like 3 years in a row, and they went from worst to first when he was there. You know, he was a 3-year captain there, 3-year starters back. That's back before freshmen could play, and they ended up winning the Ivy League championship. After graduating from Yale, he wanted to fulfill his dream of becoming a doctor. He started at Tufts Medical School. Okay, and he got drafted. Okay, think about this now. You got a guy 6'5", okay, a big target, but he gets drafted. He could have gotten a deferment because he was going to medical school, but he said, I'm going to serve. So he goes over and does 3 tours of duty over in Vietnam. Okay, and he was in the medical corps over there, and he was there for 3 years, and when he retired, he was a lieutenant commander. Upon leaving Vietnam, he finished his medical degree at Tufts, and he ended up working at Salem Hospital for almost 40 years, where the last 30 years he was the head of radiology at Salem Hospital. Things he liked to do is he liked to fish, he liked jazz music, but he's quite a success story, one of the greatest of Lynn Classical's history. And I have his son, Ed Robinson Jr., and his daughter here to accept some citations to the city. And let's just have, you know, he just died 2 weeks ago. Normally you would say, let's have a moment of silence. Let's have a big round of applause for Ed. Ed Robinson's memory. He was very proud of his Lynn roots. He spoke about it often. All right, who? Oh, you already have it. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. No, we're not going to.
Thank you. That's nice. Very nice.
And if you and your daughter want to join us, when we conclude this, we're going to be meeting up the Lazy Dog, okay? All right, my brother's restaurant.
Thank
We're going to move on to now the BC 4 Hall of Famers. So we're going to have all 4 of them come up here at once. They're not going to speak. I'm just going to go over their accomplishments and things like that, and they're going to receive the citations. Henry Torzlowski, his son's here. Charlie, where are you? Charlie, you want to come up on the stage here? Before we start this part of the quick program, I just wanted the Mayor, Jared, to step in and say a few words on behalf of this.
Thank you, Dr. Dill. Thank you to the City Council for hosting us here. And on behalf of the City of Lynn, it is my profound honor to congratulate these Hall of Famers. I also so appreciate learning about the story of Dr. Robinson and want to extend my condolences and congratulations on a life well lived. But to our Hall of Famers, I want to say thank you so much for all that you have done, contributed to your sport, to your families, to your city. We're proud of you. And to all of the folks here who are helping us tell these stories, Dr. Dill and all of you that have reached out to my office and helped us recognize these individuals for their excellence. I appreciate it. It's so important that we have these stories that we can share with our community for folks to look up to. And these accomplishments are truly impressive and require a lot of hard work and distinction. And I think showing the entire city of Lynn what can happen when you pursue your dreams and give it your all, and how that is rewarded and celebrated, I think is a great message to share to our entire community. And on behalf of the city of Lynn, I thank you for sharing it with us.
It's always nice to hear from a Division I athlete himself, former All-Ivy League wrestler at Princeton. Next, we're going to have Lynn Classical Hall of Famer, Senator Brendan Creighton, say a few words.
Thank you, Danny. Appreciate that. Certainly not on the Hall of Fame for my athleticism, but it's an honor to be here tonight with all of you. As I entered the room, I looked into a crowd of some larger-than-life figures that I've known throughout my life growing up. I am proud to represent the whole city of Lynn and every school within it. But I bleed green and gold, and to have so many of our Hall of Fame and just stars here from Lynn Classical who not only excelled on the courts, on the fields, but in life, and have done such great things to contribute to our community. So it was just an honor to be here. Appreciate the council president as well as the council having us here tonight. And thank you so much for joining us.
I just want to recognize Sean Reed here, another Lynn Classical graduate that just got elected as a state representative. We have a round of applause for Sean. Okay, I'd like Stewie Primus, Tony Thurman, Jeff Waldron, and we have Henry Torzlowski's son up here already. We're going to have all 4 of these guys up here at once, so no speeches. There's a lot of greatness in this room tonight, believe me.
Royalty.
Nationally and locally. Now, stand by me when I talk about your dad. Henry Torzlowski graduated from Lynn Classical in 1937. Went to Boston College. His nickname at Boston College was Hammer and Hank the Tank, and he was a quarterback. He had a legendary coach named Frank Leahy. He led BC to the 1940 Cotton Bowl, where they lost to Clemson, and they finished number 5 in the polls despite their loss. In 1941, He led BC to the Sugar Bowl, where they beat Tennessee 19-13. Henry was an All-American quarterback that year at BC, Lynn Classical graduate. And Tony Thurman will appreciate this, and Stewie and everyone, his number was number 22. So there was another number 22 before Doug Flutie came on the scene, and he was from Lynn Classical. His son Charlie also went to BC, and he was a star hockey player at BC, and graduated in 1970.
Yes.
Okay, congratulations to your family and your dad for being a legendary. Could Tony Thurman please step up? Tony Thurman was inducted into the BC Hall of Fame in 1992. Obviously, all these 4 individuals are already in the Classical Hall of Fame. 1979, Tony was the Boston College Player of the Year for football, all Scholastics in the Globe and Herald. And I remember this fondly, he probably does too. He was being recruited from teams all over the country. And his first recruiting trip, never been on a plane in his life, was to Hawaii. The visit was that 11-hour ride? So he went out to Hawaii, but needless to say, he wanted to stay close to home, and he came to BC. He was the first team, never in the city of Lynn, and we know there's a lot of great athletes, well accomplished. He's the first Lynn Classical BC graduate that was a first team consensus All-American. That means like you made every All-American team. Okay? His senior year at BC, he led the country in interceptions with 12 interceptions. They used to have the Bob Hope All-American show. I'm sure we all watched it. That year on the Bob Hope show, they had 2 people with the speaking part on that program, the Bob Hope show. Tony Thurman and Doug Flutie. 2 guys from Massachusetts. I remember it well. Overall, in his career at BC, he finished with 25 interceptions, which now ranks him second in NCAA history in all-time interceptions, which is a very impressive record. Some of the highlights his senior year, if you can believe it, BC was playing Alabama in a bowl game. Tony had 3 interceptions, and BC beat Alabama 38-31. So a tremendous victory while he was there. Also in that same year, down in Miami, Doug Flutie threw that Hail Mary pass. Tony was front and center there for the Doug Flutie Hail Mary pass in Miami. Just to talk about a little bit of his journey, Stu Primus and Tony Thurman have played Little League together, Pup Warner football, CYO basketball, Lynn Classical sports, and they both grew up under the tutelage. Where's Jeff Burrell? I want Jeff Burrell to stand up for a second, Jeff. He was the principal at Washington School. Took all these guys under his wing and helped develop their skill set. While he was at BC, Tony and Stewie both were used to playing 2 sports. So after a while, he got itchy, and he talked to the basketball coach and said, I'd like to go out to the team. He said, well, I'm going to start you off, send you to a JV game against Holy Cross. Says, all right. Goes up there, scores 49 points. Okay? So he says, next game he's on the BC varsity bench. Okay, getting in periodically. So we played 2 sports. Before, him and Stewie were roommates up at BC, and they were on a team at Lynn Classical back in 79, 80. It's the only time it's happened in the city of Lynn. where a group of athletes won both the state championship in football and the state championship in basketball. You know, they finished 25-0 in basketball, and some of you may remember this. They played Patrick Ewing's team over in Revere. Okay, and they beat him. They beat his team by like 18 points. And Mike Jarvis, who's the head coach of Cambridge, runs back there, said it's the greatest collection of high school athletes I've ever seen in one team. Not like just basketball, greatest collection of athletes he's ever seen in a high school team. You had Tony, Stewie, Poncho Bingham, Merrill Brown. They're all in that team. Okay, so let's have a big round of applause for All-American, the simplest All-American from Lynn, Tony Thurman. Hey, Tony, before I leave, there's one other thing. I want to set the record straight. I've been going up to BC for years, and people always say, you're from Lynn, aren't you? Isn't there a guy named Tony Thurman there that played with Doug Flutie? I go, whoa, 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 whoa. I said, from Lynn, Doug Flutie played on Tony Thurman's team.
Yes. 40 years ago.
Could Stu Primus come over here, Stu? One more thing before Tony leaves. Like 5 months ago, the Boston Globe picked the 22 best football players in the history of Massachusetts. Okay? Tony Thurman was a defensive back, one of them, and right beside him was a guy named Dick Geron, who we're all familiar with. So, Tony, congratulations on that honor, too. One of the best 22 ever from Massachusetts as a defensive back. Stu Primus, he just recently got into the BC Hall of Fame, been in the Lynn Classical Hall of Fame, one of Lynn Classical and the City of Lynn greatest athletes. He played basketball and football his whole career at Classical, and even up at BC, he went out for football. You know, he was recruited for football by a number of schools, but basketball was his first love. He got up for BC, decided to go out for spring football. At the end of spring football, he was a starting safety. Okay, and he had a foot problem back then, so he decided not to follow through on that and just get ready for basketball. In 1981, he was Boston Globe and Herald All-Scholastic in basketball and football. Division II Player of the Year. He is the only person, okay, in Lynn Classical, 125 years in existence, that ever got drafted by the NBA. Okay, Stewie was drafted by the Indiana Pacers, and he was with them for a while. Then he went over to the Washington Bullets. He was playing with them, and then he got hurt. He got put on the injured list, so he has time in with the NBA, but the only one from Lynn Classical history that ever got drafted in the NBA. He also had a second career. In 1992, he made a Miller Lite commercial with Larry Bird for responsible drinking. Yeah, well, that's what he tells me anyway, responsible drinking. But what happened, they had 200 people audition for this part, 200. And Stewie won the competition and was in the commercial nationwide with Larry Bird. Okay? Beyond that, in 1993, they made that movie, Celtic Pride. Stewie Primus was in that movie, too. So we had a couple careers going on simultaneously. Congratulations, Stu. Jeff Waldron. No, Jeff, you want to come up? This is Jeff Waldron, okay? Another Lynn Classical great that's in the Boston College Hall of Fame. A lot of you know his family. daughter works in Lynn School Apartment. His father, Jerry, was a coach for a number of years, did a great job, very well respected family in the city of Lynn. You know, when he was at Lynn Classical, he was on the varsity basketball team, state champion team. Okay, then he played football, on football team. He started on the football team, but his best sport obviously was baseball. He was a two-time Northeastern Conference MVP. He played the Massachusetts-Connecticut All-Star Game. He was a Boston Globe and Boston Herald All-Scholastic. Got a full scholarship to BC to play baseball. Now, this is the thing that is impressive to me. And he was a catcher. You know, it's a rough position. You foul balls, this, that, you get knocked over in a collision. For 4 straight years, he started every single game, including all doubleheaders. Played every single game in his 4-year career there. When he finished up, he had a batting average of .341, 198 hits, 18 home runs, 42 doubles, and a career BC record for walks. Okay, upon his senior at BC, he got drafted by Major League Baseball, and he worked his way up through the system, and he made it to AAA, and he was with Arizona, and I was keeping my fingers crossed because a former player of Post 6 that I coached, Glenn Sherlock, was a coach for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Okay, so we were hoping he'd get in there, but he was right there, and he had a great, played professional baseball for 7 years. Okay, and here he stands with us again today, and it's a pleasure to honor someone like him. He just never talks himself. I had to ask him, you know, I kept saying, will you send me a little bio about all the things? I know some of them. And, you know, he said, yeah, finally, this is how I finally got him. I said, if you don't send it by tomorrow morning, I'm sending the Dempsey brothers to your house to drag you out of the house. He said, you'll have it tomorrow morning. So he sent it to me, and the rest is history. But, you know, what? That's his BC education. But, you know, there's a lot of greatness players over here, but one guy I'd like to single out tonight, okay? First of all, everyone that's here from the Lynn Classical Hall of Fame, please stand up. We have a number of Lynn Classical Hall of Famers here. Please stand into this right here. Right, I wanted, there's a lot of greatness right there. Besides the 4 guys, Eddie Robin, there's a lot of greatness in that group right there. But I wanted to single out the oldest Hall of Famer, and we know who he is. He's done, you know, too many things to mention for the city of Lynn. Special round of applause for Dave Solomini. Lynn Classical Hall of Fame. Well, you know, there's been greatness from Lynn Classical all over the place in the media. Everyone remembers the big O from WEI. Lynn Classical graduate. Okay. Chris Gasper, voted Sports Writer of the Year for the Boston Globe. Lynn Classical graduate. Okay, we have other people in other areas that have all been very successful, and we're proud of all our graduates. So in closing, thank you for the City of Lynn, Jared, City Council, for us to highlight these 4 individuals that you know, Boston College Hall of Fame members, and also for a special mention to a legendary Eddie Robinson. Thank you for your night. Whoever wants to come down to the Lazy Dog, you're welcome to join us at the Lazy Dog. Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then the green is current. So since we started vaccinating this year in Lynn, which started